Right now on 12 News, we take you inside the octagon. The blood, the sweat, and tears that's turned this into a multi-billion-dollar sports empire.
Epic like no other.
It's an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the UFC and the fighters who put it all on the line. Inside the Octagon. Guys, it's one of the world's fastest growing and most popular sports. And yes, it is brutal and bloody. But as you'll hear, the desire to watch combat sports may be baked into our DNA. We're talking about the UFC, a sport synonymous with its founder Dana White, and it's now worth an estimated $21 billion. I recently went to Las Vegas and was given unparalleled access to the UFC, thanks to the Phoenix doctor who's at the very heart of this sport. In an unassuming building on the outskirts of Las Vegas, a group of men and women, modern-day gladiators, are getting ready for battle. Bantamweight Victor Henry is about an hour away from his fight against Pedro Falcao. So 90 minutes out, do you feel any butterflies or nerves, or this is strictly business? What are you feeling?
I've done this over 30 times. It's the same everywhere you go. I fought in Japan, I fought in Russia. You know, it's a fight. You know, you're going to go out there, you're going to scrap with somebody. The goal remains the same. There's no butterflies. There's intent and focus. There's no butterflies. I ain't in love.
Now, just hours before fight time, the fighters are getting ready to inflict damage, while UFC medical director Dr. Jeff Davidson, a Phoenix native, will do everything in his power to keep the fighters safe.
All these athletes go through such intense medical examination prior to being even allowed to get a license to participate in the event. So imaging of their brains, blood work, EKGs of their heart, if needed, further heart testing, x-rays of their chest, physical exam, eye exam. So we're very comprehensive in physically making sure that the individuals in the cage are the best professional athletes in the world. As the UFC, we have a completely comprehensive medical program, as well as a performance institute, which manages strength and conditioning, diet, rehab, physical therapy. We have a collaborative group of physicians all over the country, all over the world that I work with for follow-up operations, follow-up physical therapy. The athletes are followed through every step, and they're only released to come back to participate in a fight again, and they're physically 100% and cleared.
Its appeal is not only huge in the U.S., but across the globe. Already this year, the UFC has been to London, Mexico City, Saudi Arabia, and Australia. All of those shows sellouts.
I am at a fight almost every weekend in my life. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Every weekend, we're either, there's very few weekends of the year, probably less than 4, where we don't have a fight somewhere in the world. And I think the opportunity to work with the best athletes in the world, to see what they go through to get into the octagon, to see how they perform in the octagon, and then come back and do it again. And then just the level to even get into the top 10 or the top 3 or to become the champion of that weight class is extraordinary. There's no other sport like it.
As the minutes tick down until fight time, the teams are busy taping and wrapping.
Once they get the gloves, which they don't get until, I'll say, event time, so that we can keep track of them so that we know they're not being manipulated, but the fighters will start to break them in.
Mike Beltran, who by day is a deputy sheriff in L.A., will be reffing some of tonight's bouts.
I love being in there with the best athletes in the world and watching them compete at the highest level, but most importantly, keeping them safe. And safety of the fighter is the most important part for any official.
The fighters, most of the time, are part of a large team. The team helps support them while they try to climb the ladder that they hope will ultimately lead to a championship, which is where the real money is.
I think what beats inside of all of them is the will to win, the unrelenting work ethic, which to be able to perform in the octagon, it's a work ethic like no other. And everyone works hard in their job and in their sport, and so I would never take that. But I've watched what the men and women, as you said, need to do to get to this level, and then to win, and then to become a champion. and it's a work ethic that's, I think, unmatched.
I'm a lifelong martial artist, so I've been doing this since I was 13, 14. Here I am 37. I'm going to be 38 this year. And I just said it right now, I'm in a funny generation where I'm in my 30s to 40s. I look like I'm in my 20s to 30s because I've trained so much, but my body feels like it's in its 80s to 90s.
It takes a toll, but it's a sport that former champion Michael Bisping couldn't step away from. He's now part of the broadcast team.
I'm very privileged. I'm very honored to still be a part of the UFC. It's been almost 20 years now, and I'm so honored that they still have me around. I love this sport. It's given me so much. I had a long career. I'm far too old to do that these days, but fortunately I get to sit there, call the fights.
And with each punch, each kick, each submission, the value of the sport has soared. Since its merger with WWE Wrestling a few years ago, the value of the UFC as a global brand is now over $21 billion. And while it may be hard to believe that a combat sport can generate that kind of money, those who know him say Dana White, who resurrected the sport when it was floundering, had a clear vision of what it could be.
Well, if you listen to Dana, he says it perfectly. He says, fighting is in our DNA. You can't say it any more simplified than that. It's just in our DNA. Fighting's just there. It's through history, through other sport that's combat or not. It's in our DNA.
I mean, Dana White says it over and over. You want to watch fights. Like, there's just something raw and primal about it that everybody has. It's built within us. If you're in a room and somebody's playing one-on-one basketball in one corner, somebody's playing tennis in another, and there's a fight in the other one, everybody who's watching is going to one corner, and you know what it is. That once you can see through kind of the raw nature of the blood and the cuts and all that's going on, and you can appreciate it for the skill that they have and the athleticism that they have, it makes it even better.
The fights are now underway, and heavyweight Martin Buday has just beaten Kyrgyzstan's Uran Saltibaldiev. The doctor thinks he may have a broken orbital bone, and the fighter is not happy.
He was frustrated because I picked up on the diagnosis by telling him to blow his nose, which changed his suspension.
And if they don't fight, they don't make money.
Correct. I think their adrenaline right now and some of their fight instinct is they're frustrated. So we've had a few times where we get maybe just a little bit of back and forth conversation. But you'll see even in 30 minutes when we go see him, it's a whole different person. He'll be settled down. The adrenaline will slow down. He won't be upset. The team will be happy. They'll be watching the next fight. Everything will be much
you suspect that he has a broken orbital bone?
Pretty certain he has a right orbit fracture.
One by one, all of the fighters will be checked by the medical staff. On this night, Thailand's Loma Lukbunmi has climbed one rung of that ladder. And while a top-tier fighter on a pay-per-view event could make up to $5 million, Loma's paycheck will be in the $10,000 range.
I come from a family of fighters. I came from poverty, and my entire family fights. My dad fought, my mom fought, my sisters all fight. This is what we do. This is how we get by, and this is what I love the most in life.
How long do you want to do it for?
อยากชกอีกนานแค่ไหน
หนูอยากชกจนกว่าพ่อแม่หนูจะไม่ลำบากค่ะ
I want to keep fighting until I can make my family comfortable and make sure my parents are taken care of.
Can I ask you a personal question? Go for it. Do you do it for money? Do you do it for fame? Or do you do it for another reason?
I do it because there's a feeling in my soul where I feel like I need to do this. It's not, I don't have very many vices. I go home, I eat, I like barbecue. I don't go out, drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any of that stuff. It never interested me. I can't sing and I can't dance. So fighting is it for me. I don't do this for violence. I don't do it for blood. I think it's part of it, of course. But there is something purifying to the soul to go out and bare your soul to the world, and you are the man in the arena. And who is to judge you but your fellow compatriots?
I talked to one of the UFC announcers, and he said, like it or not, people are drawn to the raw and primal aspects of this sport. And it's simple. There's always a winner. There's always a loser. There are no ties. Chariot races may be a thing of the past, but the hand-to-hand combat, man against man or woman against woman, has always, from the earliest days of man, drawn a crowd. Mark Curtis, 12 News.